особое внимание уделили, конечно же, ситуации на Ближнем и Среднем Востоке.
Professor Sachs, that as he was uttering those very words, CIA, MI6, and Mossad were preparing the dastardly and unprovoked attack that Israel visited upon Iran last week?
Certainly, Mossad is in the lead. It's assassination and murder unit #1. But Mossad effectively has determined U.S. policy for decades, and Trump is falling into line. So it's quite amazing to see one president after another falls into line with the Murder Incorporated led by Israel.
When he said those words, you and I and others on the show rejoiced. An American president condemning the neocons, an American president condemning military adventurism and intervention into foreign countries. It was a charade. It was a facade. It was a deception.
We don't know exactly what happened between then and now in one sense. I think President Putin in 2017 expressed something that we all learn as well. He knew it in 2017 in an interview with Le Figaro that he gave. He said, "I've dealt with many American presidents. They come into office with ideas, but then men in dark suits and briefcases wearing blue ties show up and explain to them the world the way that it will be. And so you never hear of those ideas again." So I can't peer into the inner thinking of Trump, but everything he's saying and doing today violates what he said last month. And in the end, we know that our foreign policy is governed by deep state apparatus, CIA, Mossad, MI6, as you said. And we know that the actions that occur, for example, Ukraine's attack on Russia's strategic nuclear bombers, had the same provenance, that is the same authors as Israel's attack in Tehran last week. Same methods, same crates carrying drones inside a country to make a decapitation strike or to make a strategic strike. So Mossad was involved in both Ukraine operation and in the Tehran operation last week. Now, we've discussed in recent weeks, what did Trump know when? I have no idea. What did the CIA know? Well, of course it knew. It was involved in all of this. Who leads all of this? Mossad, I would say. It's weird, but it's actually true. America does not have an America First foreign policy, despite what Donald Trump says. America has an Israel First foreign policy. It happens that Israel's foreign policy is completely reckless, dangerous, and delusional. and it has been that way for decades. I was going to say for 30 years. That's the time span of Netanyahu, who is the current most despicable person on the planet, in my view, because he's the greatest war progenitor of them all. But it actually goes back beyond 30 years. This is a long-term plan for Israel to have its way in the Middle East. And the way that Netanyahu has explained it repeatedly for 30 years, for anyone who cares to read his books and articles and watch his speeches, and it's painful, but it's actually worth doing, because he tells you what his modus operandi is. And the modus operandi is that we will do what we want in the Middle East, and if any government in the region objects, we will overthrow that government. But when he says we, he's very nice. You know, it's his U.S. buddies that will do it. The U.S. will spend trillions of dollars and lives and the utter destruction of world trust in the United States to do this extremist Zionist bidding. And Netanyahu has been right. The U.S. has done his bidding up until now. We know that there was a plan already hatched decades ago, but unveiled to the former NATO commander, General Wesley Clark, in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, which said 7 wars in 5 years. And those 7 countries were Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Somalia, Sudan, Libya, and Iran. And the U.S. has been engaged in 6 of those 7 wars till now. A long plan, delayed, by the way, because every one of those turned into a complete debacle compared to what Bibi promised us all the time, how wonderful these wars would be. And now we're in the 7th war, finally. And Donald Trump has fallen completely into line as of today. It's amazing to watch. It's terrifying to watch. It would be nice if we had an America First foreign policy.
I want to ask you about the consequences to American diplomacy of this kind of deception. But before we do, there's an interesting back and forth between a reporter, I don't know who, and President Trump on Air Force One last night, and she asks President Trump about